It's our 2025 San Diego Supercross rider ratings. Let's jump right into her.
If you guys enjoy this, make sure you guys hit that like and sub button. For today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to do the top 5 from each class and do a couple honorable mentions as well. At the end of the video, we'll have a list of all of our riders, what we rated them for you guys to check out as well. First up, we're going to go into the 250 class, and we're going to start with Haiden Deegan, and I gave him a 7 out of 10 for this week at San Diego. Last week, I gave him a 5 out of 10 because I expected him to win. This week, I gave him a 7 because he had a good start. He did top qual. He was okay in the heat race, and he finished on the podium. So I think it deserves a better than a 5.
I also gave him a 7 out of 10, which is the same as I gave him last week, simply because he got on the podium. To be honest, I feel like this is kind of a quote-unquote worse performance than A1. Obviously, he finished higher, but he also started way higher up in the field. It's Deegan. We kind of expect him to win.
You did predict him to go undefeated. So, not good. Okay,
which,
so
from this point on, maybe he'll do, you know?
We also do all these polls in our Discord, and the fans out here said they gave him a 6/7 out of 10. They tied on 6/7. So yeah,
so the
just
fans
a
are
little
haters.
bit. Yep, just a little bit.
That's crazy.
All right, so our next rider on the list is Julien Beaumer, and I gave him an 8 out of 10. He won the main event. He rode fantastic in that main event. He was second in qualifying, and I believe he finished third in the heat race. Now, if he goes out and wins a heat in the main event, 9 out of 10. You guys know my thing. I can't give out 10s unless he does all 3.
I'm going to give Juju a 9, simply because he was super slept on going into the season. He's showing that he's the best in the class right now, and I'm giving him an extra point just because you guys are mid and didn't believe in him.
So the fans actually put Juju as a 10 out of 10. So I don't know about a 10 out of 10. He did ride great though, but I don't know about 10 out of 10.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Respect it.
Going to our next rider, we have Jordon Smith, and I gave him an 8 out of 10 as well. He did win the heat race. He qualified, I think, top 3, if I'm not mistaken. He was second in the main event, so I think he rode fantastic. And honestly, Jordon is pretty slept on by me. I'm not going to cap. I predicted him to be the underachiever of the year, and yeah, he's probably not going to do that at all.
Yeah.
So
I also gave him an 8. If the season goes like it he has a really good shot at winning the title. There is not a chance I would have said that going into this season. Not a chance. And my bad, brother. Put a little respect on your name. You've earned it from me. So my bad on that one.
Yeah, same. Yeah, don't hate us. So the fans gave him an 8 out of 10 as well. Yeah, big shout out to Jordan, man. He's riding fantastic, bro. Like, really good. Seriously. Yo, low key.
Really good.
Low key, it's 2 weeks in. Deegan might be the underachiever of the year, bro. Low key. Going into our next rider, we got Cole Davies. And I gave him an 8 out of 10 as well. He won the heat race. He was very good in qualifying, and he rode exceptionally well in the main event. He was even leading some laps there. I think he led, don't quote me on this, I think he led the first 5 minutes, and then Juju got around him. And honestly, he just rode fantastic. He got a little tight during the middle of the race, and then at the very end, he actually came back and passed Ryder D for 4th. Yeah, he rode awesome. I'm so excited to see what he can do in the next few weeks.
I was going to give him a 9 just because, young, absolutely ripping. I give him an 8 because I'm going to deduct one first podium interview because he said track 87,000 times. Other than that, we're locked in.
Hey, man, he's nervous. First time ever.
Me and Bogle were laughing so hard. He's like, man, he's ripping, but what is going on? It's okay. I mean, literally first time ever. I would be yeah, shitting my pants. I'm not gonna cap. Yeah. Like shout out Red Bull on Monster.
Yeah. The fans gave him an 8 out of 10 as well. So we're kind of spot on with our ratings right now, dude. Low-key. Going into the next rider on our list, we got Ryder DiFrancesco. I personally gave him a 7 out of 10. Doc predicted that he wasn't going to back up his performance, and he definitely did. He got the same placing. Yeah, I gotta say Ryder D rode great, but I will say we didn't really see much of him in the race. Obviously, the battle was up front, and then we were kind of watching Deegan a little bit, and so we didn't really get to see too much of Ryder D. He did make a mistake, which allowed Deegan to get past him, which could have been a major mistake if you guys watch back that clip. He cased the crap out of that triple. But overall, for Ryder D, I think it was a great performance for the entire day.
I'll give him a 7 again. Solid Ryder D. Doesn't look super flashy, but hands down the best year he's ever had.
And the fans also gave him a 7 out of 10. Our next rider on the list is going to be Joe Shimoda, and I gave him a 7 out of 10 just because he rode with 2 broken fingers. And if you guys saw his hand, I don't even know how he survived 15 minutes plus a lap. Dude, it was so bad. He was looking really good in qualifying too. And then obviously the heat race, you can't really say much about it. He's just trying to survive out there, right? And then just getting 7th place overall is super impressive.
Might be a little controversial. I'm gonna put him quite high. I am going to give him a 9.
That is psycho.
Okay,
that is psycho.
Because the heart that it took for him to do that and the result that he got based off the pictures I saw, pretty impressive. And so obviously the result was quote unquote mid for where he should be, but all things considered, insane ride.
So the fans gave him a 7 out of 10, but there were some votes for some 10 out of 10s on there. So
okay.
Yeah, so cool. Respectable. But now let's jump over to the 450 class. So we're going to start us off with Eli Tomac, and I gave him a 9 out of 10. He wasn't top quality. Hey, I can't give him a 10 out of 10. He wasn't top quality, but he won the heat race and he dominated the heat, basically dominated the main event for like 12 laps straight in front of Jett. And so I give it a 9 out of 10 because that was a beast mode ride. I'm not going to cap. That was fantastic, amazing. We were hyped. But unfortunately, I can't give you a 10 out of 10 unless you get all 3. So, yeah.
It's a 10 out of 10 ride. Okay. I don't think that this was necessarily a traditional beast mode ride where it's that one-off where he just comes out of nowhere and just rips and he was just feeling it. I think this is just where Tomac's at, right?
Yeah,
and
I guess, yeah.
Ripping. And I was going to give him a 9 too, except for the pass on Jett, which was too good not to give him an extra point. So we're going to give him a 10.
Dude, that pass was legendary. Yeah, so the fans gave him a 10 out of 10 as well. I'm the only one.
I respect it.
Wait, why is there 2 votes over here for a 2 out of 10 and 1 out of 10? Who's Tomac haters? Bro, what? Okay, those guys were weird.
Sexton fans.
Going to our next rider, we got Jett Lawrence, and I gave him an 8 out of 10. He looked like he's back. Got the win in the heat race. I think he qualified 2nd, right behind Chase, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously 2nd in the main event. But it looked like Jett was back. Like, it looked like himself. He didn't over push that motorcycle where he would make a mistake trying to get Tomac. He was just trying to find lines to possibly get to him. Honestly, Tomac was just better that night. Respectable ride coming back from a 12 from week 1 to a 2nd place in week 2. Yeah, Jett might be back.
I was going to give him an 8 too. I gave him a little extra point. I gave him 9 only because Buddy looks like he got humbled. And I respect it. You know, it looks like I'm really enjoying that. You know, he's like, I'm just happy to be on the podium. I'm like, oh, how the turntables, brother. Me. So I gave him an extra point for showing a little humility, you know. But yeah, he looks great. That Jett winning, I don't mind so much, you know, like nice little humble. We got it done. You know, it was hard. Tomac's ripping. Me, Jett. Nah, back to 12th, brother.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how big of a fan Jett is to Tomac. Like, he was just like hyping him up so much, like in the interviews and stuff. So yeah, but like I just didn't expect that, I guess. But the fans gave Jett a 9 out of 10 as well. Definitely have some votes for 1 out of 10. So those guys are definitely Jett haters.
Sexton fans.
Yeah,
those are Deegan fans.
For real. The next rider on the list is Chase Sexton, and I gave him a 7 out of 10. And he's kind of the honorable mention here because he didn't finish in the top 5. And honestly, he rode an amazing ride. He went from dead last, almost landed on dead last basically to 6th place, just like Tomac last week. If I'm sticking with what I did with Tomac last week, I'm going to do that with Chase, and I am giving him a 7 out of 10. He top quals, which was super impressive. I didn't expect that. He rode really good in the heat race. And then in the main event, obviously went from dead last to 6th. So I got to respect that ride. And Chase is also back. Like, let's be real. His speed is there.
Great.
Yeah,
he looks
there.
really good.
So
I might be slowly becoming a Chase Sexton fan, you know, like very slow. I'm talking PW 50 slow, okay? But he's definitely grown on me. Stop tucking the front, you know. I'm really
he got flustered, bro. He almost got landed on.
I'm really trying here, okay? But if we keep doing that, I won't be able to. I'm really trying though, you know. I mean, I will say I have a chat with all my moderators. The amount of ha-has I post when he crashed, I was like, no way, not again.
He was flustered from almost getting landed on, okay?
Kerfuzzled from the French. I understand.
The fans gave him a 7/8. They tied on the votes here out of 10. Okay, going to our next rider, we got Ken Roczen, and I gave him a 7 out of 10. And Kenny rode fantastic in that race, man. He started out in second place, and the reason why I'm giving him a 7 is he faded back to fourth, and he wasn't able to get past Cooper Webb. If he gets past Cooper Webb, I'm going to give him an 8, but he kind of just stalled after making that one attempt on him, just had to settle for fourth. And don't get me wrong, I love seeing this side of Kenny. He looks good, he looks comfy, and he looks fast. And if we can get that every year or every race, yo, he might be a title contender. That's all I'm saying.
Obviously, this field is insanely stacked. Kenny looks so good. You just said he faded. I don't know that I'm calling going from third to fourth fading, right? I mean, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, obviously, he got passed, so he did fade backwards
yeah. That's all I meant, really.
No, in the traditional sense of Kenny fading, I'm not seeing any signs of that. Usually he's ripping, and then with about 7 minutes, 8 minutes left to the main, he goes from like third to sixth. I'm not really seeing any of that, and that gets me really excited. Like, Kenny's right there, dude, and big Kenny fan. 8. I feel like we're getting the best Chase Sexton. We're getting the best Eli Tomac we ever had. Not the best yet. And the best Kenny we've ever got.
If Ken Roczen can put those rides together every week, man, he's going to be someone to look out for at the end of the year. You just got to find that consistency. Last year, he was a little bit off. If he can get that consistent every week, whew. Yeah, so the fans gave him an 8 out of 10. Our next guy on our list, we got Cooper Webb, and I gave him an 8 out of 10 just because he survived a third place being sick as a dog. I mean, you guys saw what he looked like on that podium. He looked so freaking pale. Yeah. It was insane. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he led for 8, maybe. No, he led for like 8 minutes. Tomac didn't get into the lead until like 12-minute mark. Yeah, so he led for a long time. I was very impressed by what Cooper Webb was able to do at San Diego, and also holding off Ken Roczen, like we were just kind of mentioning. So very, very impressed, and I gave him an 8 out of 10 for that.
Yeah, I give him a 7, but I could see an 8. First of all, the scrub that he did to get into the lead was hot. That was some spicy stuff right there. He looks really good. I mean, if that's him after puking for a week or whatever and not feeling great and looking terrible, I mean, he looks like a really good Cooper Webb. Maybe I feel like we haven't really seen him show us potential, you know, like he was sick this week, he was kind of buried at A1. Like, I'm excited to see like a healthy Coop get a good start and then battle with the guys, because maybe this is the best Cooper Webb we've ever seen either, you know, as well.
And going on that is he finished third still. So like he's right in the thick of things for points too. Yeah. So with Kenny in the points, Cooper, Jett, Chase, Tomac, I mean, we have 5 guys after 2 weeks, like right there.
It's crazy. We have like super fast guys that are like, you know, Sexton, Tomac, and Jett that we're saying can win often. But then we have Cooper Webb and Kenny that I feel like are just going to be super consistent the whole time and not have really bad races and just be there. Kind of the first time that I can think of in at least recent history that we've had a group of consistent riders that are fast enough to be title contenders, and then also a group of people that are like expected to win every week. And so kind of seeing how that's going to balance out is going to be really interesting.
With that being said, this is like almost the second year of that. Last year we kind of got it, not really, because a lot of the like Chase wasn't comfortable on the bike. Tomac was coming back from the Achilles, and like going back in the previous years, we've only really had like 3 guys every year that'd be like, all right, those are guys of the titles. Like it was like Tomac, Dunge, Jason, or Marv. Like it was like those guys, and then nobody else. Everybody was like way in the back. So it is going to be very interesting. For Cooper Webb, everybody gave him a 7 out of 10. On to our next guy. We got Hunter Lawrence, and I gave him a 7 out of 10. And he rode way better than he did at A1. Right there in the thick of things, like in that mid pack, right behind Ken Roczen. He actually made a pass on Ken Roczen, and then we never saw what happened to him that Ken was able to get past him. They never showed that on the broadcast. So I don't know if he made a mistake or something. And then a couple laps later, Jett and Tomac got by him. Yeah, I just think that if he can put it together, as you mentioned, you can see him getting podiums, like legit see him getting podiums. And he can be that second group that you just talked about, where we have Cooper, Kenny, and Hunter all right there being consistent. And then those top guys make mistakes, get injured. Those guys move up.
Yeah, looking at this, I have a 6 on here. I forgot he was really sick as well. Probably should give him a 7. It was aight. You know, it was okay. You know, nice 5th place, way better than, you know, I could ever think of, you know, for me, obviously. I don't have any skill. Incredible ride, all things considered. But again, for him, I think he should be podium. So it was kind of a, but we'll give him a point for being super duper sick. So I go with 7.
Seems like a lot of riders were sick. That's what I've heard in the interviews that I've been watching. Everybody said like they got sick after A1 and it's kind of lingering into San Diego. So kind of sucks for the riders. So the fans gave Hunter a 6/7. They tied on like the votes here. Right now, you guys are gonna see our whole entire list, and you guys can see what we put for like the entire field. Let us know what you guys rate these riders in the comment section below. It seemed like you guys kind of enjoyed this last time we did, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you guys hit that like and sub button, and we'll be back out with the predictions video tomorrow. So we're out. Peace.